From an Arsenal perspective, I can see exactly why they want him. He would be their perfect number 9. He derailed their title hopes last season, scoring
Your preference to go to Arsenal, having supported them as a kid, if you could choose?
I mean, just don't see it happening. I mean, a bit tongue-in-cheek here as well, though. Villa and Arsenal are both top 4, top 5 Champions League teams. You're selling to a direct rival in some ways if you do lose him, don't you?
And you alluded to it a little bit there, but how important is Ollie Watkins for Villa's future ambitions and their current ambitions this season?
Oh, absolutely. He has been and is Unai Emery's number 1. There's been no doubt in that, even with John Duran in the fold and coming on and scoring those late goals that have been so important to them. So it's no doubt that Unai Emery wants him to stay at the club. I mean, he has scored double-digit goals every season he's been at Villa. He has been a phenomenal player for them. He's been a consistent player for them. From an Arsenal perspective,
For the Aston Villa striker, Ollie Watkins, that bid has been rejected. It's expected that Arsenal are going to go in with an improved offer. Now, this story was first reported by Sami Botbal in the Daily Mail, and he has dug up some interesting information because he says that back in 2020, when Ollie Watkins was at Brentford, he gave an interview in which he said that it was always his dream to play for Arsenal, and apparently Thierry Henry was his hero when he was growing up. Now, that may well be the case, but that doesn't mean that Aston Villa are going to be selling him to Arsenal. But it is big news, especially for Arsenal fans who've been crying out for their club to sign a new striker because they believe they need a striker to win the title. The story is a little bit complicated though, because Aston Villa have got 2 number 9s effectively who are in demand. There's Ollie Watkins, there's also John Duran. West Ham have been trying to sign him, they put in a bid, that was rejected. Now Al Nassr, the Saudi club where Cristiano Ronaldo is playing, they are trying to sign a striker as well. They had basically agreed a deal to sign Victor Boniface from Bayer Leverkusen. He was packing his bags and getting ready to fly to Riyadh, but at the last minute Al Nassr have switched their sights to John Duran at Aston Villa. He would cost them something like 70, 80 million pounds. Now, there is no way that Aston Villa are going to let both those players leave. So I'm being told that it's unlikely that Arsenal will get Ollie Watkins, especially if John Duran ends up going to Saudi Arabia. And I'm pretty sure that Aston Villa's position is Ollie Watkins is not for sale. He's got another 3 years left on his contract. Why would we sell him to one of our rivals near the top of the table?
What do you make of the timing? A couple of hours before Aston Villa play a really important game, and there's a bid put in for one of their most important players.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Do you know what? The actual the bid makes sense. I understand why Arsenal would want a player like Ollie Watkins. I think he fits the system. He's exactly what they need. But the timing of it is bizarre. I think it's going to get Aston Villa's backs up a little bit. And if you say Arsenal are coming back in, then we'll see what happens. But from Aston Villa's point of view, they won't want to lose, in my opinion, either of those 2 strikers. I think we've seen so many games this season where Watkins has started and John Duran's come off the bench and scored important goals. To compete on a couple of fronts like they are, they need two really top-class strikers, which they've got at the minute.
What is he, 29, Ollie Watkins? Does it seem a lot of money for a 29-year-old, which has already been rejected?
I mean, Arsenal have got a long-term interest in Ollie Watkins. They're long-term admirers of the player. And we've always been saying that short-term and long-term targets will be considered in this transfer window. They cannot get a domestic player on loan in this transfer window because they've already used up their 2 loans in Neto from Bournemouth and Raheem Sterling from Chelsea. So it was going to have to be a permanent deal that they'd have to go for. Ollie Watkins clearly is someone that they like, and they've gone big with this bid. But the cynic in me is kind of wondering, look, for them to do it with 5 days to go on the eve of a huge game for Aston Villa, surely they would know that Aston Villa are going to say no. I just wonder, is there another target that Arsenal have got, and maybe they're trying to push that other target by making it public? Here we go, look, we're going for Ollie Watkins here. Because that kind of thing can happen, can't it?
Does that happen, Ash?
Yeah, 100%. Those kind of moves definitely happen that don't come out and we're not talking about, because phone calls go on, conversations happening behind closed doors, and you never find out about it. So that would make sense where they want some, maybe they're down the line with someone a little bit and it's sticky, and so they've gone, okay, we're going to do a big public bid over here to push this guy. And if I was that player that's doing the quiet conversation, I might now be saying to my agent, look, they're moving on someone else, we need to get going.
One thing